Good evening. This meeting is now called to order. This is the Public Safety Committee meeting for November 10th, 2025. I'm the Chair, Councilmember Yolanda McCoy, and at this time, we're going to do a roll call for the members of the committee first. Councilman Spadola, he has not joined us. Councilwoman Bracy. I just seen her click on. Okay. Councilman Bracy, you just called your name. I'll get back. Councilwoman Darby.
Present.
Councilman Johnson. Councilman Oliver.
Present.
Thank you. And President Congo. All right. Councilman Bracy, I don't know whether or not you're aware, but you are muted. We're trying to get your attendance.
Oh, present. Sorry.
Thank you. And we have Councilman Owens here.
Present.
Are there any other members of council on? No, I do not see any. Okay. All right, so we have an agenda today it actually have 4 agenda items on here, but we will only be doing 3. I would like to start with an agenda item ordinance to authorize and approve an agreement between the City of Wilmington and the Leeds Online LLC for an integrated ballistic identification system. If I can please have someone come and speak to this ordinance. Hello, if you would not mind introducing yourselves.
Good evening, Madam Chair. It's Chief Wilfredo Campos.
Welcome, Chief.
Well, thank you. This ordinance is to authorize and approve an agreement between the City of Wilmington and Leeds Online to support our integrated ballistic identification system. This ordinance is being requested to approve a multi-year contract with Leeds Online for a platform that will support our firearm and gun crime investigations. The cost for this agreement, it's a 3-year agreement that would be $25,358 for the first year, $26,118 for the second year, and $26,902 for the third year. Now, this will be a new tool for our Crime Gun Intelligence Center team and will assist investigators with analyzing ballistic evidence like shell casings and help investigators by quickly identifying the caliber of a firearm used in a crime and identifying the best casing to submit to NIBIN, which is the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network. This is also something that we anticipate being able to fund using federal grant funds that our department has already been awarded for our Crime Gun Intelligence Center and our gun laboratory, which is a grant that council approved back in 2022. And basically what this system does is when we have casings that are recovered at any scene, a shooting scene, we're able to put it into this system, and it'll allow us to identify the best casing to put into NIBIN, which quickly identifies where that gun or where those casings or where that gun has been used in other investigations or other incidents. And again, this is no cost to the city. This is part of a grant that we received back in 2022.
All right, does anyone have any questions? Okay, Councilwoman Oliver.
No, just, how you doing, Chief? I just wanted to reiterate that you said it's no cost to the city and that you will be able to, if you get some shells off the ground from any shooting incidents, you'll be able to identify if it's been used in other shootings. Is that what you said?
Yes.
That's why I just wanted to make sure I understood that.
Yes, ma'am.
This is free grant money. Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions before I ask mine or actually make my statement? Okay. All right, so I did get a chance to speak to Dr. Karras about this, and the question that I asked was, I was made aware this was a new tool. I would like to know exactly how you were using or how were you identifying these casings previously, and then also whether or not this is something that you believe you'll be using regularly, and I'm kind of told almost daily, but I just wanted to get that information from you.
Yeah, previously what we were doing, we would go to a scene, we recover casings, and we put them into NIBIN. What this tool does, it tells us which casing is best to put into NIBIN. so that we can get those results quicker and I wouldn't say more accurately, but to be able to compare to other investigations that have happened, whether it's in Delaware or in the region or even in the country. So that's what this new tool will allow us to do.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, is there anyone else have any questions? Okay, do we have anyone, okay. Councilman Owens.
Yes, real quick, with this being new technology, would there be any additional costs for training?
No, it's all the training is provided by the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearm.
Sponsorship, membership.
Councilman Darby, did you have a question or did you just forget to put your mute on? Okay, thank you. All right, did you have anything to follow? All right, do we have anyone in the public that had a comment? Oh, please, come forward to the podium, and if you can just give your name.
Just making a comment.
Good evening. My name is Pam Salam, and I'm from the Southbridge community. I did have a question. So if this tool, I'm not clear if this tool is already been in progress, happening, or is this a new? I'm not clear on that piece.
Okay,
Because I have a two-part question.
right. Chief, would you mind answering that question?
Sure. We are NIBIN already, when we put a casing in now or previously, we don't know which is the best casing. So if there's 5 or 10 casings at a scene, this new tool will allow us to say, out of those 10 casings, this is the best one to submit to NIBIN.
How will that have an impact on getting the case solved? Or has it previously been able to solve a case?
Yeah, what this does is it allows us to get the information back quicker, right? And it allows us to be able to piece these investigations together. So, for instance, if a casing or if that gun was fired or used in an incident in Dover, Delaware, and it's used in Wilmington, even though we may not have the gun, but those casings will be able to be interconnected, and we can have that discussion with our other jurisdictional partners to say, hey, we had an incident here in Wilmington, and it seems like this casing comes back to your incident there in Dover, maybe last week or yesterday, and then we start comparing notes and talking about the investigations to see if we can develop suspects and leads.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Was there anyone else that had public comment? Yeah, I have a question. Oh, yes. Please come and please give your name.
I'm Jamie. My question would be, would this be used for cold cases?
This would be used for whatever we can use it for when it comes to any type of shooting incidents, including cold cases, yes.
Okay, are there any studies or statistics showing success?
Not that I have anything, not in front of me, I don't have anything, yes.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, there's Cheryl online with a comment.
All right. Cheryl. Cheryl, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was muted.
Okay. You may continue.
I guess I'm like the other lady. I have a two-part question. One is, what is NIV? I need to be clear on what that is.
Okay, so you are asking the question about NABIN. We actually aren't speaking about NABIN.
Go ahead.
Okay. So,
Well, I mean, he mentioned it, and to me, it's jargon because I'm not an officer. I'm not a policeman, so I wouldn't know what that is.
okay, I recognize that. All right, and if you would mind giving me the second portion of the question.
Okay, so the second portion is, if it's still not going to be accurate, there's a possibility that it could match a gun or something. But if it's a gun from Dover and they have no leads, what is the purpose?
Okay.
Because apparently, the gun is still out there, so there's nothing associated to it. So I'm not clear on what the purpose is in using this, besides the fact that you might get where the bullet might have been used a little bit faster or something. I'm not clear on that part.
All right. I'm sorry, you said this is Cheryl?
Yeah, my name is Cheryl.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. I believe the chief actually gave a little bit of that to the very first commenter. I didn't know whether or not, since you had a minute, would you mind giving that information? NABIN and then the other part.
It's NIBIN.
Oh, NIBIN,
It's
I'm
an acronym. It's for the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, and it's a system that's used by the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearm to be able to. It's a national database, basically that compares casings that are inputted throughout the country, and that's basically what NIBIN is. Not every department has it. Wilmington is lucky enough to be able to have that system in our department, which we share with our jurisdictional partners throughout the region. And when it comes to casings, you're absolutely right. Sometimes that other jurisdiction may not have any leads, but it's something that stays in in the NIBIN system. So if that gun is used in another incident in the city of Wilmington, we're able to start, I guess, looking at the dots and putting these investigations together to, to find out who the perpetrator is or whatever individual has committed the incident.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your question, Michelle. Was there anyone else that we had on the virtual?
No hands up.
Okay. All right. So that being stated, and if none of my colleagues had any follow-ups, I just want to make you aware that this is an ordinance and we will not have to vote this out. It will go to the full council on November 20th. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
No problem. Next ordinance. Thank you, Chief. Next ordinance, ordinance number 25-061, an ordinance to amend Chapter 39 of the City Code to allow retired police officers to serve on the police pension board as the same as permissible for the fire pension board. Is there anyone to speak to this? This is, actually, I did sponsor this, but I would love to have someone else bring a little bit more clarity. Anyone else? No problem. All right, so this actually is my ordinance. It was brought to my attention by someone who was actually on the police board, who made me aware that they have vacancies on the police board when it comes to their pension. They made me aware that how they solved that vacancy issue with the fire department was by allowing retired firefighters to be on the pension board, and wanted to know whether or not that'd be something that is capable for them. Of course, we wanted to make certain that those seats are filled by people who are definitely aware of everything that happens as a police officer. So making certain that the board is filled with retired ones, I felt like that was not a big stretch. So that is the reasoning behind this ordinance. I didn't know whether or not anyone had any questions about this ordinance. You all right? Okay. Any questions? All right. Okay, so without any questions from my colleagues, did anyone from the public have a question about this ordinance? Okay. Oh, you did? Okay.
So,
Councilman Oliver.
allow police officers to serve on the police pension board. Yeah, I mean, because other, okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, it's no different than other, or like
Yeah.
firefighters on the board and all that, correct?
Yeah, I said, so it would be police officers from Wilmington, the city of Wilmington. They have actually have a police pension board, and we want to make certain that we fill those vacancies. If we don't have police officers for the board, then the retired police officers can do so.
Follow up.
All right?
You said police officers from the city of Wilmington. I don't see the legislation.
Now. Okay. You got it? Okay.
Is that in the legislation that says police officers from the city of Wilmington? Thank you.
Thank you. She's corrected it.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
is that in here that says police officers from the city of Wilmington?
Yes. Is the fourth whereas clause.
And the four, whereas 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That's it.
All right. Okay, so if there's no other questions from my colleagues or anyone, any public comment? You good? Okay, so I'm going to be moving forward. This is an ordinance, and we will be bringing it to the full floor on November 20th. This does not have to be voted out either.
Thank
No problem. Okay. All right. And lastly, we have updates on the status of the Wilmington Fire Department's emergency medical services by WFD Chief of Fire, Mr. Chief John Looney. Mr. Looney.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Chief. And if you're, the people who accompanied you can introduce themselves.
Deputy Chief Cooper.
Okay,
Eric Haley, Battalion Chief of Special Operations and EMS.
great, thank you. All right, now we are ready for the update.
Good evening, Madam Chair.
Good
And
evening.
all other council members. We're here tonight for a update on our emergency medical services operation. Next slide, please. Okay, the vision. Wilmington Fire Department's vision is to continue to provide the citizens of the city of Wilmington with the highest level of life safety, emergency services, and property conservation. This will be accomplished through intense training, public education, prompt responses, and compassionate emergency care. Next slide, please. Brief history of the emergency medical services implementation. Trinity Health informed the city February of 2025 that they will no longer be able to provide ambulance service as of June 28, 2025. The city determined the best course of action is to provide 911 emergency ambulance service through the fire department. This required an additional 30 firefighter emergency medical technician positions. This course of action is consistent with the city's priorities of delivering high-quality fire and emergency medical services. Next slide, please. With the incorporation of emergency medical service, EMS, operational needs. An academy began in May of 2025, consisting of 30 firefighter EMT recruits, increasing our authorized strength to 186 personnel. We also total of 5 ambulance staffed with 2 firefighter EMTs, 24/7, was placed in service by July 2025. The first ambulance, Trinity Health, was still providing service but was suffering from manning or staffing issues. So we placed the first ambulance in service April 17, 2025, using our firefighter EMT personnel currently on the department. Prior to the implementation of EMS, the city purchased a total of 6 new ambulances in August of 2024, preparing for if this were to come to light where they would no longer be able to provide the service. So we were preparing a good year and a half out. Due to the uncertainty of Trinity Health's ability to staff contracted number of ambulance. With the 6 that were purchased, we also have currently 4 reserve units. Next slide, please. This is 2 of the 2 styles of our ambulances that you're going to see running around all over the city. We have what we call a box-style ambulance and a van ambulance. And we have a mixed assortment of those, actually 6, and then, as I said earlier, 4 reserve units. Next slide, please. Okay, with the incorporation of EMS, it was decided we needed to create a battalion chief of emergency medical services and special operations. And to my right is Battalion Chief Eric Haley, who had assumed that role and responsibility. In that position, responsible for the development and implementation of EMS policies, procedures, and operational guidelines, manages all required refresher training for all of our nationally registered EMTs, manages annual refresher training for all special operations personnel in the following disciplines: confined space rescue, rope rescue, vehicle rescue, and water rescue. Works with the suppression battalion chiefs to ensure staffing and accountability for all 5 BLS units daily. Manages all EMS equipment, supplies, and storage. He's the coordinator for all special events throughout the city as it requires fire and EMS coverage. initiates and maintains EMS quality assurance, quality improvement program, monitoring outcomes to facilitate operational changes and future training priorities. Next slide, please. As I said earlier, with the incorporation of EMS, we also had to bring on a civilian EMS, Emergency Medical Services Manager. This was a very important position that we had to make sure that we incorporated into our model. This particular person is the liaison with the third-party EMS medical billing company. She provides training, necessary training of personnel for accurate completion of required patient care reports, oversees the quality assurance and improvement initiatives in patient care and billing practices, also ensures compliance with applicable codes, laws, regulations pertaining to medical billing, manages the contract medical billing services, other duties as assigned by the Battalion Chief of EMS and Special Ops, reports protocol violations and quality of care concerns to the Battalion Chief, analyzes patient care data to identify trends and support continuous improvement. Next slide, please. Third-party medical billing company. City of Wilmington has contracted with Specklin Billing Company to provide specialized EMS medical billing services. This is a complex field requiring specialized knowledge of medical coding, payer regulations, and billing software to ensure accurate claims, maximize revenue, and reduce denials. Also manages claims proactively to quickly identify and address issues before they become significant problems. Next slide, please. EMS incident data is very important to note. Currently, the WFD, since taking on and implementing all 5 units 24/7, we are becoming the primary provider. We've handled approximately 9,330 incidents since then, and we're only talking approximately 6 months, a little over 6 months. Approximately, currently, we're looking at 1,920 EMS incidents a month and approximately 430 to 450 incidents a week. Next slide, please. And this is very important to me, the WFD personnel, and I can't go out without mentioning this. As chief, I commend and applaud each of you for your commitment to being empathetic, compassionate, and dedicated to delivering the highest quality service to our citizens and visitors. Your work reflects the best of WFD, and I'm grateful for your continued service. This was a huge undertaking. By putting the first unit in April 17th. This is a vital service. It's just as important as our police department and our fire department. But when it comes to EMS, this is up there as a vital service. And our men and women, their work environment, basically, it changed overnight. And, they took on a big responsibility. And I'm very proud of that. We've had no interruption in service since Trinity Health leaving, and that's something that, I loud about. That was very important. So like I said, I have to thank my men and women. Without them, we wouldn't be doing this.
I'd like to say something.
And last slide, this is a couple of our firefighter EMTs doing what they do out on the street, taking care of people. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilman Oliver.
Thank you. I have to go next door for zoning here. But I did want to say, I think the AEMS, I've been out there a couple of times with people who have overdosed, and they have came prepared and saved lives. And I have to give kudos to the staff you have that's working out in the street, because about 4 occasions, they brought all 4 people back when I was out there. So they're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Owens?
Yes, thanks, Madam Chair. Chief Looney, Chief Coop, Chief Haley, good to see you all. As y'all know, I have a special place in my heart for the fire department. Since taking over EMS services, 9,330 30 calls is a lot of wear and tear on people,
Yes, sir.
which I'm sure is a lot more than the average calls y'all were getting beforehand. Um, and earlier, I think you said there's 5 ambulances in service throughout the city. That leaves one station uncovered, correct?
Yeah, currently, our model that we built, the administration built, was 5 ambulances at the time. But we do not have we don't have an ambulance at Station 4. However, the way that we set up our grids, that does not mean that that area off of Concord Avenue by Station 4 is not being covered, because it is. It's being well covered. But at this time, we only have 5 units in service.
Is there any thinking of taking that up to 6 so that all stations have a EMS service stationed there? And I'm sure that would take some wear and tear off of the other, I guess, whatever other
The other
stations are
units.
covering. Yeah.
Spreading out the amount of incidents. We've been working on that behind the scenes with, working with the Newcastle County 911 emergency communications. When I talk about grids, it's response areas for each different, engine, ladder, ambulance. So yes, we are working at to kind of spread that out, and we are starting to see that. But to get back to your question, we're not fully evolved yet as an EMS service. You have to understand, this came upon us very quickly, and we had to, we had to act, and we had to act responsibly. Do I see that? That's a very good possibility that could occur, because the national average is like 2 to 4% increase in EMS incidents across the country.
Wow.
One follow-up?
Yes, you may follow up.
And again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm remembering this from high school days when I was a Explorer. But Station 4 is first due for where my council district is, over Harlan, correct? Harlan, PS area.
Yes.
So anything y'all need from me to help make it happen to get that 6 ambulance, please let me know. And then my question is, y'all take care of the city, right?
Yes, sir.
That's great. I'm thankful for that. Who's taking care of y'all? With so many more incidents being called in and having to deal with, that's a lot of wear and tear on the body. Is there a plan to help the firefighters who are dealing with the additional workload during this time?
Yes. With that being said, and I can add, Chief Haley can add to it shortly. We obviously just executed a contract. We approved a contract. And in that contract, we switched our shift. From April until July, until we got the contract approved, well, actually October 1st, we were remaining on our same schedule, 24/48, and that was just not, it was not suitable for this busy of an urban EMS system. So through our negotiations, we negotiated to go back to a shift that we had for many years before, and it's 24/72. And the reason for that is for the well-being of our guys and girls, to give them that time off to to refresh, recheck, reset. Also for retention, and also very important is recruitment.
Thank you. All right, I actually had it on my agenda to kind of go over some of the highlights from, you signing the contract, because that is something I wanted to make sure that I brought to everyone's attention. Unfortunately, HR wasn't able to come and do that, but I do expect the next time I'm just going to be able to read out what my questions were and what the answers are, so that people have understanding about what's going on with our firefighters.
Sure.
But I do want to state that I do understand your, your concerns about the 5 ambulances. Do know that we kind of started this out in the last term with the purchase of, the buses. And so making certain that we already knew Trinity was leaving, trying to get in front of it and still not being able to quite, because they started to lose people.
Correct.
And weren't able to actually get out the ambulances in a timely fashion, or actually didn't have enough coverage. So we had a lot of colliding with Newcastle County
Yes.
ambulances
Yes.
having to come and catch a few of our cases and issues. So I'm just very glad that we were able to. I was so happy to see that this finally took place.
So was I.
This was a big, this was a big deal. I really wanted to make certain that people understood how large of an undertaking this was.
Yes.
You know, we got 30 new people here. Some of the questions that I did have for you, I was going to ask them, and then they turned around and was answered as I got further into to the report. So I just want to say, you know, I really want to commend the fire department, making certain that we got information. I even thanked the last term that they had to start looking at things early on, that we did not let everything crash and start having to try to figure out things from scratch when we got to this term. So just getting the equipment early enough to be able to start making moves really made a difference. And we took a little bit of a hit on our budget.
Yes.
But we know that it's going to pay off because we're going to be able to keep the city of Wilmington residents safe.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that is our utmost priority.
All right. So I didn't know whether or not anyone else had anything else to state before I open it up for public comment. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. All right. Councilman Owen has one more question.
Sorry. Just real quick, and maybe this is a mayor's side question. With the third-party medical billing company, I know in a lot of municipalities that offer the EMS services, they see kind of a gap, and service was delivered, service paid for. Have we seen that here as well too?
I'll refer that to Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephanie Mergler.
So we have about 3 months of data so far on the collections. And it's a little hard to draw too many conclusions so far because a lot of that was setting up our contracts. You have to set up a contract with Medicaid, with Medicare, with all of the insurance providers. But with the data we have so far, it looks very promising. We haven't seen any big delays. We haven't seen any real problems collecting on bills. Just comparing the accounts receivable versus the actual payments we've received, it is honestly looking very promising. I would like to wait one more month before really making any actual proclamations about, or really projections about what we'll receive by the end of the year. Based on what we had for the first 2 months, OMB was projecting that we'd at least hit budget. With the third month, we definitely look better than budget, but I want to see another month before I have to knock on too much wood.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, did you introduce yourself, ma'am?
Oh, apologies. Stephanie Mergler, Deputy Chief of Staff.
Thank you. All right. So, you need another follow-up? You look like you're itching over there.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. None of my council colleagues on Zoom need anything? Okay. So is there anyone in the public that has a comment or a question? Yes, please come forward and just introduce yourself.
Regarding the EMS incident data, could that be more categorized or there be more details about it? Like in regards to like the types of neighborhoods, the types of incidents versus
We
male,
could break it
female?
down to type of incidents, but it would take a while before I could get that. I mean, obviously, I didn't come prepared with that tonight. We could fact find that, yes.
Okay. My second question, I'm just piggyback on Councilmember Owens. Regarding the incidents affecting personnel, what are the available resources for them? Well, because such as high incidents,
As in, like
the
being burned
personnel, like
out.
what resources do you have for them?
We don't have anything in-house. I mean, we do have what we call our employee assistance program that we can refer them to. We have resources out in the state for, our employees. I think can you add on to that?
Yeah.
At the state level, we have
At the state
resources.
level. So through the Fire Prevention Commission, they've just actually released it's a anonymous mental health program that our employees have access to. And actually, one of our employees is working with Chief of Safety and Training, Rob Pryor, on instituting that and getting out to our people. So they should see that here shortly.
And to also answer your question, we do rotations through the ambulance with our, uniformed personnel. So it's not always the same individuals that are on those units. every time they report to work. We are rotating them for that reason, for their well-being, for their mental and physical health.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Councilmember Johnson is online.
Okay. I'm recognizing Councilman Johnson. Did he have anything to add or add a question? Okay.
I think so.
All right. Okay, so as I had already stated, I do thank you. I wasn't quite certain about the last question you asked about the incidents, but I do realize that wear and tear on the body, wear and tear on the mind are some of the things that we see with a lot of our public safety. And so being certain that because of the fact that they work a full 24-hour shift before they get relief, I'm glad that you was able to find it in to contract that they be able to have that much time in between when they got to come back. So like I stated, I really wanted to be able to bring more information, but we will, just not tonight. I don't know, I just seen somebody walk in the door. He want to offer me information. You offering information?
Oh, it's tough.
Okay.
Daniel's behind us.
Okay.
Daniel said no.
But yeah, like I stated though, so the questions that you actually asked to me were definitely asked and answered when it talked about the civilian and how this civilian is actually only working with a third-party operator to find about the medical billing. So I'm like, okay, good, we got somebody who
Yes.
knows what they're doing.
And-
Yes.
And I should have introduced her. Her name is Sue Smith, and she comes to our department with many years of EMS experience, and she is doing a phenomenal job.
Okay. All right, and so how are we doing then with Newcastle County? I can't remember the term that y'all called it.
Mutual aid?
The mutual aid? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And so where someone calls us, whoever gets there the fastest, whatever, but it seemed like we were having an issue with like overlay.
Well-
So we're not having that as frequently now.
No. When that was going on, that was in the middle of Trinity Health, not being able to staff their ambulance, the contracted amount of ambulances. So with that, our mutual aid partners who, I can't thank them enough, kind of put that on their back, and we're always available coming in here, leaving their communities unprotected to come in here and handle, these EMS incidents. But once we've gotten up and become the primary provider, that has decreased a lot.
Okay. All right, well, that's basically all I had. I had one more question, and it is for, well, we have somebody?
Oh, no, you're fine. Councilmember Johnson has a question.
Okay, so I just had one more question then for retiring Chief Haley. Is this a new role? Is this your new position?
This is a new position. This position was created when the Wilmington Fire Department took over EMS.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Councilman Johnson, you have a question? And you're on mute.
Yes, I just wanted to thank Chief Looney and his EMS team. This afternoon, actually, I had the unfortunate circumstance of having to call EMS. I actually was a witness to a assault downtown, and I responded to 911, and EMS was able to help the victim, who was a young woman. So I appreciate the work. In real time, my first experience dealing directly with the EMS team, and so I appreciate the work everyone did, and make sure to keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
All right, thank you. So if there's no other questions, I would like to be able to close up this meeting this evening, hoping that we'll get a chance to have a little bit more information for you at the next Safety Committee meeting. So if I can get a motion to adjourn? Oh,
So moved.
wait, I'm sorry. I do apologize.
Yes, I'm
It's almost
sorry,
like-
Chair. I just wanted to get clarity so that we know, like, from a staff perspective, what are your expectations for the local 1590 contract? I mean, the administration did provide responses to the questions. were you expecting some type of overview at the next meeting, or what exactly is your expectations?
Okay. My expectations, I did receive an email. I want to go back through that a little bit more thoroughly. I will be able to, I wanted someone from HR to actually come and give those answers to those questions, so that if there was any follow-up, someone be here to do so. But if that is not, if they're unable to do that, I still want to make certain that the questions are asked and answered here within the Public Safety Committee. Okay? I apologize. We're going to start again with that motion. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. I said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. I said, thank you so much for joining me. I will hopefully see you in the next one in January.
All right, thank you
Oh
for
my
this
God,
opportunity.
January.
Thank you.
Don't put that on us.